Now, this is going to be hard. I have in front of me a paper, 5-page paper. I prompted Copilot, my favorite chatbot, my large language model, and I prompted her to say on the subject of redevelopment of distressed real estate. She said, oh yeah, there are ways to do that. One is real estate crowdfunding. Who ever heard of that? Well, there's Kickstarter and places like that. A lot of times people use it to develop a product, but she's saying it's also used to redevelop distressed property. Can you believe it? Well, there's more. There's a lot more. But walking along as I am today makes it kind of hard holding the camera and all that. Well, let's see if I could turn the page to the next idea that she had, real estate crowdfunding. Then there's patchwork financing models, public, private, local. Then there's community-driven interim use projects. Every one of these has about 3 subtopics that explains what she means. And there's crypto, tokenized real estate. I remember that. I thought about it in the connection with my art collection, people owning fragments of the artworks. Then there's social impact investment funds. Long word, sounds like it's going to use a lot of government backing. And then there's pop-up commercialization models. That's a good one. Turn the page. This is 5 pages long. Then she sums it up by how these approaches fit a 3 to 5 year demolition horizon. That number is my number. I figure that it's going to be torn down and a big apartment building take its place, which is, I would imagine, something the owner is anticipating. Now, I have this idea of a MakerVenue, and she's telling me how that fits into all these ideas, crowdfunding and all the rest. So, she says she can help me with more. The funding stack, pitch deck, community frown, the risk projection, etc. Well, so much for that. Glad I had this chance to record the paper that I got this morning. A lot of people are leery of artificial intelligence and chatbot and so forth, but there's an amazing number of people actually use it. They use it for everything. We in our family, we use it sometimes when we want to track the best film to watch that night on one of our streaming providers. Sometimes we use it for recipes, but most of the time I use it for brainstorming. A large language model, after all, doesn't care whether you follow through or whether you're right or wrong. The chatbot just is programmed to go into this heap of knowledge, common knowledge, ordinary knowledge that's available on the internet. You just have to write prompt, and it will go out and find all relevant subjects in a matter of seconds, literally. So I use it quite a lot because I work alone. I don't have anyone to ask these questions. And if I did have these questions to ask, you'd have to recognize that the person you're asking has their own agenda, their own timetable and interests, and why should they care about your question? Well, a chatbot doesn't care either. It's not human. But it will give you a straight answer, dug out of the common knowledge, that vast trillions of pieces of data that have to do with whatever it was you're asking about in your prompt. So I use it. And this morning I'm glad I used it because I had no idea whether there were alternative ways to talk to the building owner where I want to see my dream come true, my MakerVenues. She doesn't know that I'm doing this. And I have to approach her as carefully as anyone would approach someone who you're actually soliciting their attention. You're soliciting their investment. You're saying to them, will you invest 15 minutes of your time to listen to my pitch? And if you're not bringing your checkbook to write a check to this person, let's say to rent the entire building or a square foot of it, you have to, it's not walking carefully or anything, but you have to be sensitive. This person, this human being, is not a computer, and they don't have a pipeline drilled into this vast knowledge that's on the internet. And I doubt, frankly, that she has considered crowdfunding, for example, as a way to restore and renovate her building over the short term. But I do. And it's because I'm one of those innovators in the community you hear about. Good morning. I like being out so I can greet my neighbors. I am a neighborhood guy. I want to make myself a neighborhood asset. And I have to prove that every day. It's like a printmaker has to prove whatever it is they've worked on in their printing plate. They have to prove it over and over that it works. It's the same with scientists. They have to work on proofs. Mathematicians. I can relate to STEM and all that it connects to, especially when it comes to kids' education. Kids really need STEM in their early years, not because they're going to become scientists or engineers necessarily or artists, but to be aware and to occupy their minds with their future, even though they don't think about it. Their parents do, worry about it even, the grandparents do. What about the future of kids in America if their education system is wanting? Well, thank you for listening again. I'm Bill Ritchie, and I'm home, and I'm grateful for the day. Thank you.